welcome to what's in this week's Oban Times with me, Finn Nixon. So what do we have for you this week in the newspaper and online? Well, you will be glad to hear that we have lots of news and photographs for you. Remember that we are also always happy to hear your stories and see your photographs as well. You can call us on 01 631 568 000, email editor@obantimes.co.uk, or message us on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. Let's hear which stories my colleague Sandy Neal has been reporting on.
This month marks the 50th anniversary of one of the most devastating incidents in Oban's history. On July the 24th, 1973, the Esplanade Hotel in Oban caught fire, resulting in the deaths of 10 tourists. It remains the worst Scottish hotel fire since wartime. We look back on that tragic event. As the NHS celebrated its 75th birthday this week, Argyll and Bute has been hit by a shortage of NHS dentists. In fact, there is no space at all for new adult patients. Islanders have cautiously welcomed the Scottish Government dropping its controversial plan to ban fishing in 10% of Scotland's waters in zones called highly protected marine areas. But Islanders fear it may resurface under a different guise. The Corran Ferry across Loch Linnhe broke down again for a week so far. The 47-year-old backup vessel, MV Maid of Glencoul, developed a steering problem last Wednesday. The main, larger ferry, the MV Corran, disappeared for an overhaul last October and isn't due back until at least mid-August. The operator, the Highland Council, has resumed its emergency passenger and bus services soon after the Corran Ferry's last collapse between April and June. Calmac ferry fares have been frozen for another 6 months, and teacher strikes have saved Argyll and Bute Council £800,000. But what will they spend it on? Maximum taxi fares in Argyll are set to remain the same after councillors agreed to make no changes. Councillors have also come out in favour of doubling council tax on second homes. And we're counting down to the Tyree Music Festival this weekend.
Thank you for that, Sandy, and I look forward to reading through all of those stories in this week's newspaper and at www.obantimes.co.uk. In other news, it was an emotional week for Catherine Wiley, as the company that she co-founded with her late husband Bob, Argyll Taxis, made their last journeys through Oban after 4 decades of dedicated service in the local area and further afield. You can find out more about what the 77-year-old Oban native had to say as she looks forward to spending more time with her family in this week's Oban Times. By the time you hear this podcast, Connell singer and weather presenter Joy Dunlop will also have performed a Gaelic song at the ceremony to give King Charles III the Scottish crown jewels. She said it was great to be able to represent Gaelic and Team Argyll at the royal event in Edinburgh. Elsewhere, we hear about how the Scottish Charity Air Ambulance's 5,000th response was a call out to the Isle of Linnhe, coincidentally while they were already training in the Oban area. And about how an army veteran's astonishing 32-day stay on the remote island of Rockall, around 230 miles west of North Uist, came to an end when he was rescued by the Stornoway Coast Guard last week. In the sport, there was success for Alison Rogers from North Argyll Cycle Club, as she won silver in the Scottish National 50-mile Championships time trial last weekend. Well done, Alison. However, it wasn't quite to be for Glen Cruton's Bob McIntyre, as he let a top 10 finish slip at the British Masters, despite a resilient performance from the golfer, who had remained in contention going into the final day. Back in Oban, the latest Oban and District Darts League came to a close with a finals night at the weekend, where awards were handed out to this season's best performers and the best improved player. There were also 7 medals and 24 personal bests for the Oban Otters, as they made a big splash in their latest swimming competition at Linwood. Also, the Oban Ravens squash team were flying high once again in another Wisps bronze competition, as they made their debut at the Dalgety Bay Tennis and Squash Club. And Oban High School pupils served up another entertaining event at their annual tennis competition, batting off heavy showers and strong winds. Well done to them. So, don't forget you can read all these stories that have been mentioned and much more at www.obantimes.co.uk or by picking up a newspaper in local shops and petrol stations. And don't forget, if you have a story, get in touch. You can call us on 01 631 568 000, email editor@obantimes.co.uk, or message us on one of our social media platforms. For now though, I've been Finn Nixon, and thank you for listening. Bye!